Hello and welcome to yet another version of Inside the Athletic Show. I'm Mitch Winkelman. Alongside me is cross-country head coach David Beauchem. Thanks for coming by, David.
Thanks for having me.
This past weekend, Michael Castell finished 76th place out of 171 runners in the Midwest Regional at NIU with a time of 33 minutes and 21 seconds. How was it being there, and how well do you think he did as a head coach?
I think Mike had a very good race. It really culminates the season for him in terms of his progression and his racing development. He's been through a lot of challenges in his first year and a half being here. He missed a lot of his freshman season in cross country. So the importance we placed in the sophomore season for him, he really followed through and had a great season. And
Michael Castell was awarded the all-conference second team. Congratulations to him. How important is he going to be as a Leatherneck for this team as his remaining years here as a Leatherneck?
Well, it's going to be great to see him move up in the conference. The conference has gone through some changes in terms of the teams kind of coming in and coming out, the expansion and shuffling that's going on. It's happened in the Summit League as well. And this was a pretty tough year in the conference. Next year we'll have a couple teams move out. Mike will certainly move up and really have a chance to compete for the championship in his last 2 years.
Now, switching over to your coaching perspective, how special is to coach both the women and men in cross country and track and field?
It's exciting. Of course, most of our events are together. So as we go to competitions and we're going from event to event and seeing the men compete, seeing the women compete, they really feed off each other from how they've worked so hard in practice together. And that camaraderie that's developed in practice carries right into the meets. And for us as coaches, it really works the same way. And just being able to go back and forth from each event and each individual student athlete as they compete and just being there for them to encourage them and make sure they're doing the things in competition that we've worked on in practice.
Now the cross-country season is now over. Who in your eyes were the better disciplined runners, the men or the women?
It's kind of a mix. The women's team certainly got through the season healthier than the men did, and a lot of it had to do with how some of the summer training went. It's hard to say one is more disciplined than the other. The men have a higher mileage total that they have to reach. Unfortunately, we had a few injuries on the men's side, and it really challenged us to get through the middle part of the season. But the women certainly had a better year in terms of competing meet in and meet out and having that progression through the season.
This past season, there were a lot of great runners, but who were your MVPs, one for the women and one for the men?
Certainly for the men, Michael Castell carried the team. And for the women's team, Chelsea Lines, coming back from an injury last year and redshirting cross country. She really hasn't raced cross country in about 3 years, and she made some really great progress through the season. She struggled a little bit at the conference meet, but her progression through the season certainly had her leading the women's team throughout the year.
Now, track and field will be underway in just a few weeks. What do both teams need to work on to get better in this quickly off-season right into track and field?
Well, for the distance runners, especially on the men's side, we're still trying to get that base and volume up where they're truly fit enough and strong enough to train through the week and race through the week in and week out competition of the track and field season. On the women's side, it's really coming down to getting more race ready. And those are the interval sessions and the stuff we're going to be able to do on the track coming up a little bit even this week, and certainly into January and February to have them race ready and competing at the top of the Summit League throughout the indoor and outdoor season.
Is there any different training techniques you coach as going into track and field?
Well, it's kind of track, the men and women come a lot closer together because they're racing the same event, the mile, the 800 meters, the 3,000 meters. In cross country, they're separated out more because the women are racing 5K, 6K, and the men are racing 8K, 10K. So actually we come together a lot more as a group during the track and field season than we do during the cross-country season.
All right, Coach, that's all the time we have for today, but stay tuned for yet another upcoming profile of Inside the Leatherneck's Athletic Show. So long, everyone, and see you next time.
Thank you.